Is there a way to get into a Pagoda SL affordably? I've covered this topic before. I know I'm rehashing it, but I get asked this question so many times. It's a good idea to revisit these really popular topics and figure out where the hack is, if there's a hack. So I've learned some stuff recently about upgrading earlier Pagoda cars. I've been studying this stuff, right? Because you have to apply the engineering before you can go on YouTube and start talking about the theory. I love people that talk about the theory of doing things, but then the execution isn't perfect. And I'm starting to figure out that there may be some light at the tunnel for people who want a 230 SL, and a 280 SL, but can't afford one, but maybe are in 230 SL territory. So the first thing we have to look at is where the market is for 230, 250, and 280 SLs. The 280 SL market is still performing as expected, with really great cars being north of $70,000 and the best cars still being north of $90,000. And then you've got all the costs to make those cars into reliable, usable cars, which is a real bummer if you're shelving out 70 grand and you still don't have a reliable, usable car. Then there's the 250 SL, and the 250 is mostly under the radar. There are people that have them, but they're kind of scarce, which leaves us with the last option, which is the 230 SL. So part of the affordability is buying the car. The other part is actually sorting the car out or repairing the car, making the car into a usable car. The survival rate of 230 SLs is higher than I expected it to be, but the highest number of 230 SLs surviving are these sort of tired, cobbled together Euro cars or low spec US cars that need a lot of help and attention. This doesn't mean they're bad cars. It just means that if you buy one for $30,000, there are going to be some things that you have to do because the car's not exactly going to work right. So my machinist and I were talking about this recently, and his solution to the expensive Pagoda problem is to take a 230 SL and upgrade it with an engine from a 280 SE sedan. There are a lot of these M130 engines, but if you get one, you still have to figure it's going to, at minimum, need a valve job and may even need pistons and, connecting rod bearings and main bearings and a timing chain and all that good stuff. And if you go in that far, you're already starting to push your budget through the roof, especially if you have rust repair to do. So let's say you get a 230 SL, the car runs okay, it doesn't start well, it may not have all of the cosmetic features you want, but it still could be an affordable car. How do you make the car actually drive as well and function as well as a 280? Because the thing we're trying to focus on here is value for the money. Nobody's going to cry if you get a color changed semi-rusty 230 SL and put maybe a disc brake rear end from a W108. There are plenty of those available that have been sitting off the cars for years. They have disc brakes, so they drive better. There were some improvements, I think, to how quiet they are. And then most of the best part is these rear ends had a 3.92 to 1 ratio, making them a little bit more highway friendly. A second thing you could do is upgrade those cars with a 250 or 280 SL injection pump. The injection pump fits right on the motor. They have these brackets on the back of the pump. You can't use the lower bracket, but with a little modification, when you slot the mounting hole on the block, you can use the upper bracket, and that seems to be enough. And then on top of that, if you could find like a later distributor whose 3-digit code ends in 051 or 052, or you get an aluminum distributor, you could put the 280 SL distributor on and replace your worn out 230 SL distributor. As long as you have a healthy engine, all these upgrades make sense and they work extremely well. You could do a few other things too to make the cars better, but like putting 14-inch bunt wheels on them, that's a nice upgrade. But all in all, with these upgrades that I described, you can make a 230 SL drive and perform almost as well as a 280 without replacing the engine. That's the big thing. Once you get into engine replacements, it's a little bit too much. But when you start dealing with things like injection pumps and rear axles, that's kind of manageable stuff you could do in your garage. So you could get the efficiency and the flexibility and, dare I say, slightly better fuel economy than a 280 SL, and eliminate the 230's hot starting issues. It's extremely noisy, screaming rear end. You can take the edge off of it a little bit and make it a 70-mile-an-hour car instead of like a 62-mile-an-hour car. Not that the engines can't handle it, they just get so noisy at those speeds it hurts. And actually make it a pretty decent car on a budget with stuff that you could pick up inexpensively used. So the caveat is here, you have to do all the work yourself, because once you start paying somebody like me to do it, it does get kind of expensive. Anyway, if you thought this video was useful, and maybe you could see some light at the end of the tunnel if you want a Pagoda SL and you don't have $100,000 burning a hole in your pocket, it is possible. And if you have anything great to add to this conversation about your own experience with cheap Pagodas, leave it in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tap the bell for notification. And remember that there's always an unadvertised car out there with your name on it. We'll see you guys in the future, okay?